Trump's tariffs are going to cause inflation. I got the proof. I got the evidence. I got the receipts. You ready for it? So one of the one things that people say that Trump's tariffs did, they caused higher prices. On what exactly? On washing machines, for instance. All right, let's take a look. Did the Trump's tariffs cause higher prices on washing machines? Let's take a gander, shall we? Let's gander along together. Let's gander. Let's see what Grok says about washing machines here. So in 2015, mid-range models were $500 to $700. 2018, they were up to $600 to $900 because of Trump's tariffs, right? Trump's tariffs. 2019, they fell. They fell to 550. What? Wait a second. From 2018 to 2019, the price of washing machines fell? That's impossible. 2024-25, they're up to $7,000, but Trump's tariffs. So we go over here to Grok, and even Grok's going to show us something. Machines have grown larger. They've grown to 4.7 cubic feet in 2020 versus 3.1 in 2000. Impacting pricing, but improving efficiency. That's kind of crazy. 2022 and 23, prices declined as supply chains stabilized and tariffs impacts lessened because Samsung and LG were opening U.S. factories. That's kind of crazy. BLS shows laundry equipment prices were 5.5% lower in 2023 than in January 2017, adjusted for inflation. What? Blame higher price on Trump here. Prices peaked due to the pandemic, supply chain disruptions, raw material shortages, and high demand for home appliances. The BLS reported a 19.29% price spike for laundry equipment in 2021, the largest annual increase in decades. Obviously, Trump's tariffs from 2018. I just thought this was interesting. I thought it was very interesting. Prices declined as supply chains stabilized and tariff impacts were lessened because the companies were opening U.S. factories. Tariffs caused a temporary price surge, but were mitigated later by domestic production. Prices for aluminum must have went up because Trump put a tariff on aluminum, right? So we got to go up here. So 2015, the price for a metric ton of aluminum was $1,665. 2016, $1,604. 2017, it jumped from $1,604 to $1,968. What? Increased demand from construction, automotive sectors, coupled with Chinese supply curbs to reduce pollution, supported the rise. That's a pretty significant rise. Trump's tariffs obviously had something to do with that, right? 2018, prices peaked early in the year at $2,200 per metric ton due to U.S. tariffs on aluminum imports and sanctions on Russia aluminum imports, but later moderated as trade tensions and Chinese overproduction concerns resurfaced. 2009, wait a second. They fell to 2019 below where they were in 2017. In 2019, the prices were down to $1,794. 2020, they dropped to $1,704, below where they were in 2017. Okay, so I mean that's obviously because of Trump's tariffs. So let's take a look here. The price of steel. The price of steel over the past 10 years has been highly volatile, driven by global supply and demand trade policies. Interesting. All right, so again, in 2015, we had $400 to $450 per metric ton of steel. 2016, $450 to $500. 2017, another big jump. Obviously, they knew Trump's tariffs are coming in, right? The tariffs in 2018. 2017 was a 550 to 600 metric tons. So we've gone from 400 metric tons to 550 metric tons before Trump was even inaugurated. All right. 2018, U.S. prices spiked to 800 to 900 metric tons after a 25% tariff on steel imports were imposed in March. Global supply prices averaged $650 per metric ton from volatility on trade tensions. But 2019, they fell again. Crazy to 500 to 600 metric ton. 2020 prices bottomed out at 425 rebar in mid-2020 due to COVID demand collapse, but rebounded to 600 as China's economy recovered. Very interesting, though, is it not, that the tariffs had nothing to do with this right here. Look at that. 2021, it went to 1,500 to 1,800 metric ton. And where are we now? We're back to up to May, 700 to 890 metric tons. Interesting. Global prices fell 7.79% since January, reflecting Chinese oversupply and weak construction demand. But I thought the tariffs were supposed to make the prices higher. So we've seen washing machines go down in value during the Trump tariffs. We've seen aluminums go down in value, go in the price. We've seen Chinese, or not Chinese, but steel go down in value. That's 3 for 3. That's we're doing pretty good. I'm just curious what dryers did. Let's take a look at dryers. The closed dryers, which did not have a specific tariff on it, other than that has tariff on aluminum and steel. 2016, 500 to 850. 2017, 500 to 900. 2018, 500 to 950. 2019, 550 to 1,000. 2015, 5 to 800 bucks. So we see a steady trajectory of price increases on closed dryers. You could say it had something to do with Trump's tariffs, but they're already going up. It's crazy. 2022, 700 to 1,300. That's because of Trump's tariffs? I don't know. 2018, 700 to 1,600 bucks. So closed dryers didn't have the same drop as washing machines did, and there was an explicit tariff on washing machines. Let's take a look at solar panels. Let's just look. And I don't know what that. I haven't looked at that, so I could be shooting myself in the foot here. I don't know. Let's take a look. So remember, there's explicit tariffs on steel, aluminum imports, washing machines, and solar panels. Let's take a look. I don't know what solar panels is, so we're looking at this together here. 2015, we had 60 to 70 cents a watt. I'm assuming that's a watt right there for the price per watt. Yeah, expressed in US dollars per watt, exactly. PV, again, is photovoltaic. We're turning the sun's energy into electricity. So we got 60 to 70 cents per watt. Or residential, we'll just do module cost per watt. 2016, 55 cents a watt. 2017, 50 cents a watt. 2018, 45 cents a watt. 2019, wait. Module prices fell due to oversupply from China, but U.S. tariffs on imported panels slightly increased domestic costs. Interesting, and yet they went down from 2017 to 2018 and to 2019. Global module prices dropped 90% since 2010, but Trump's tariffs are supposed to make it go up. Module cost 2020, 35 cents a watt. 2021, 27 cents a watt. 2024, 15 cents a watt. U.S. residential costs at $2.50 a watt median in some markets. Global module projected to reach 10 cents a watt by year end. All right, so I mean, just come on, man. It's just getting stupid. The idea that Trump's 2018 tariffs are going to increase prices. Where? I mean, I guess you could say they increased prices of washing machines in 2018, dryers in 2018, but you're like, yeah, but those things are already going up. So attribute that solely to Trump's tariffs, and you have to attribute the price drops that Trump's tariffs do. Kind of weird, isn't it? When you start diving in, it's like, wait a second, man. Where's the evidence? Well, the prices went up. Okay, what happened 6 months later, 12 months later? Well, we don't want to look at that. Let me just read you from my man. This guy, my man James Miller, he did this debate with my man Vox Day. And Vox Day, he just got a Bachelor of BA in economics from like Bucknell University or something like that. He's not even a real professor. Was this guy right here, James Miller? He's got a PhD in economics from University of Chicago and a law degree from Stanford. And a big fan of James Miller. I follow him on X. But he said right here, in his argument in favor of free trade and against tariffs, my man James Miller said, I think one of the big differences between us, i.e. the people who stand against free trade, and us free traders, this is what this guy's saying, is the relative importance we assign to national sovereignty and consumer sovereignty. I admit I don't care that much about national sovereignty. It does not, that's what he says right there. He wants consumer sovereignty, that you should be able to buy what you want whenever you want, regardless of national sovereignty. I think a lot of libertarians like that. The national state is irrelevant to them. A lot of free traders, they don't really care. As long as they get the cheapest cost, they don't care. There's no national affinity. And that's the problem with the libertarians and the free traders. I like a national affinity. I like the American culture. I like the American concept of this unique group of people who came here to freaking crush. And you start saying, the Canadians, the Mexicans, the Russians, the Chinese, the Africans. No. There's a simple American ideal. National sovereignty is, other than God, other than your family, is a number 3 priority. And we better adhere to that. We can't give it away because of cheap cost, especially when the arguments are, tariffs going to increase prices. It's just based on limited data. All right, God bless. Love your thoughts.